Okay, now I am presenting my screen. Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
all right. So today we are going to discuss a new topic. As such, it is not new topic, but we are going to discuss about comparison of auto, diesel, and dual cycles. I think somebody wants to join. About comparison of auto, diesel, and dual cycles. I think somebody wants to join. The topic for today is comparison of auto, diesel, and dual cycles. See, we can compare we can compare auto, diesel, and dual cycles on the basis of same compression ratio or on the basis of maximum pressure and temperature. Same maximum pressure and temperature. Okay. So the first case which we are going to consider is that is comparison of auto, diesel, and dual cycles for the same compression ratio. Uh, so basically, in these three cases, we have considered that the compression ratio is constant. Okay, so we are considering this particular scenario, and when I say that we have to compare auto, diesel, and dual cycles for same compression ratio, or maybe for some other parameters also, which we are keeping constant. My purpose is to compare three things. The first one could be I am talking about the heat supply. Okay, how much heat I am supplying in each of these cycles. The second could be heat rejected. The third is work done during the cycle, and the fourth one is the efficiency of the cycle. So now let us consider the first case where we are considering the compression ratio to be constant. So when I say compression ratio, all of you know that compression ratio RC is given by V1 by V2. Okay, and it is also equal to Vc plus Vs divided by Vc, where Vc is the clearance volume, Vs is the stroke volume, and the sum of them is divided by the clearance volume. So that is the value of the, that is how we define the compression ratio. Now when we have to compare these three cycles, one thing that would remain constant is the starting point. So starting point or starting state, okay, better would be to say the starting state. That means state point 1 will be same in all three cases. Just wait, somebody wants to join. So starting state point will be same in all three cases. So what I will do, uh, for the time being, you can see the diagrams showing the comparison of auto, diesel, and dual cycles is shown here in this slide actually. But I will draw it here, and then you can focus on these two diagrams later on so that you are able to understand it properly. So my focus is on the TS diagram particularly. PV diagram can be drawn later on. So I am going to draw the TS diagram. If you remember the auto cycle, and if you remember the various processes which are occurring in it, the first process is reversible adiabatic compression. Okay, and during a reversible adiabatic compression process, the entropy remains constant. because there is no heat transfer from the system to the surrounding or from the surrounding to the system. And effectively, if we talk about a Otto cycle, then there are two constant volume processes and two reversible adiabatic processes, out of which the first process is uh, reversible adiabatic compression. So what I can do is I can plot two constant volume processes among which I am considering the cycle to work actually. So I am considering that initially the state point 1 is here, and this state point 1 will be same for all three cases. Okay. Now the first process, as I told you in case of Otto cycle, is reversible adiabatic compression, during which the entropy remains constant. So it has to be a vertical line. So this is how I am going to draw the reversible adiabatic compression process. So it is state point 1 to 2, process 1 to 2 rather. So I am writing here, this is also volume is equal to constant, and this line also shows constant volume process actually. Okay. Now what is the process 2 to 3 which takes place in case of Otto cycle? The second process is heat supplied at constant volume. So I can say the process takes place from 2 to 3 up to this particular point. Rather, if you will see this diagram, this state point is shown to be 6. So I am considering it as 6 for the reason because the diagram which is shown here in this slide, this state point is given a number which is 6. So basically, process 2 to 6 is the heat supply in case of Otto cycle. Then next process is 6 to 5 here. Okay, if so, this is a little bit arbitrary for you because 5 is coming after 6, but doesn't matter. 6 to 5 process is basically reversible adiabatic expansion in the Otto cycle. Okay, then we should think of the last process in case of Otto cycle, and that process is heat rejection at constant volume. So the process takes place from 5 to 1. This is how we can draw the Otto cycle on the TS diagram. And if on the left side diagram, TS diagram which is shown here, you can see this is the point number 1. Then here we have the point number 2 here, and this is point number 6. As you can see, it is a constant volume process. Then point number 5, and from point number 5 to 1 is once again the constant volume process. So basically cycle 1 2 6 5 is Otto cycle. Just wait, somebody has come to join the class. Bill Elliott. Okay. So I hope this part is clear to you. Now on this TS diagram, now I am going to plot a constant pressure cycle actually. And if you remember, what is the difference between an Otto cycle and constant pressure cycle or a diesel cycle? In case of diesel cycle, the heat supply is at constant pressure. All other three processes are same. And moreover, when I say the compression ratio is same, it also means that V1 by V2 is same. V1 by V2 is same. Once again, somebody wants to join. It's really a problem. Okay. So when I say the compression ratio is same, it means that the volume V1 and V2 will be same. So V1 is same, V2 is same. So basically, you can say that this is, you can say the volume at this particular point is V2, whereas the volume at this particular point is V1. Okay. So these are the two constant volume lines. Now, in case of diesel cycle, the state point 1 and 2 will remain same. There won't be any change in them. So I am representing, this is the point number 1 here in of the diesel cycle. This is the point number 2 of the diesel cycle. So there is no change. Now the next process is the heat supply at constant pressure, and I have told you in case of constant pressure and constant volume, the constant pressure process has a lower slope on a TS diagram. We discussed about it when I was discussing about the efficiency part of the cycles, when I derived the expressions for the efficiency. So now what I will do, I will plot that uh, process here from 2 to 7. Now you can see it here. I am starting from point number 2 and I am going up to point number 7 here. This is point number 7 and this is a constant pressure process for the diesel cycle. Remaining processes, then 7 to 5 is expansion, reversible adiabatic expansion, during which the entropy remains constant. You can see it from here. This entropy at point number 7, 5, and 6, they are same actually. And then once I follow the isentropic expansion, I will have to terminate the process at point number 5. Why at point number 5? Because the heat rejection is at constant volume and I have to reach once again to state point 1. So I can't go below point number 5. So I will follow the same process which is at constant volume. So this is constant volume process. Then, so basically now I have drawn two cycles and now this cycle 12751. 12751 is the diesel cycle. Now let us talk about the dual cycle. Once again, because the compression ratio is same, so point number 1 and point number 2, these 2 points are fixed actually. Okay, and similarly if you see the previous two cycles which I have drawn, the point number 5 also gets fixed. There won't be any change in the point number 5 also, because we have to come back to the point number 1 by following the constant volume process only. Okay, so let me change the color. So now I am going for the green color. Now in case of dual cycle, you know that the heat supply first is at constant volume and then it is at constant pressure. So since 1 to 2 process is same, now what I will do, I will go for a constant volume heat addition. So constant volume heat addition process is already drawn here. So some part of that, let's say up to this particular point, I will call this as state point 3. Up to this particular point, we are heat supplying at constant volume in case of dual cycle, and the later part of the process is at constant pressure. So the constant pressure slope will be different, so I will have to follow this particular line. So this is point number 4. So that is how I can draw the dual cycle. And after point number 4, once again the process is 4 to 5, which is the reversible adiabatic expansion, and then 5 to 1, which is the heat rejection at constant volume. This is how we can draw all three cycles on a single TS diagram, because we want to compare these cycles. So is this part clear to you? Any questions on this? Because if this part is not clear to you, then proceeding further would be difficult. Any questions on this?
It's not clear for me, sir.
It's
Sorry, Rolly. It's not very clear to make the difference.
okay. It's not very clear.
I
Okay.
understand.
Okay. Just wait for a minute.
For me,
I
sir,
will
I have
have.
a question.
Yeah, I am going to repeat this part once again. Just wait for a minute.
Okay, before you speak, sir, I just wanted to find out
Yes,
what
tell me.
is being referred by TS diagram.
What?
Like for a PV diagram, we know it's pressure and volume, but for TS, what is TS? Is it temperature against time, or what exactly is it?
No, I'm not. I could not get your question actually. It's not clear to me.
Oh, I was asking about a TS diagram. It's a TS diagram we're doing. I was
T
saying for a
TS
PV
diagram.
diagram,
Why we are drawing
yes,
TS diagram?
what are the initials TS meaning there?
Okay, T stands for temperature and S stands for entropy. TS diagram. It is a temperature entropy diagram. I discussed it in the previous classes also, in previous lectures also. Okay, once again, I am going to discuss about the cycle which I have drawn here. Once again, so this is once again temperature entropy plot, and why I am Using this plot, I will tell you, we have discussed about the heat transfer part, delta Q is equal to TdS. Okay. And I have told you that if I have a TS diagram, okay, if I have a TS diagram like this, like I am drawing here, then the area under this curve, okay, this represents the heat supplied or heat rejected. If the direction is this one from 1 to 2, then this area under this curve represents the heat supplied. And if I have drawn the diagram like this, means the process being followed is from say 2 to 3 here, it is the TS diagram. Then the area under this curve, because the entropy is reducing from 2 to 3 during the process, so this area represents heat rejected. So that is the basic difference between the two cases. It depends upon the arrow. And if I have, let us say, if I have a diagram like a cycle actually like this one, okay, then I can always say that the area enclosed in this diagram, this area represents the work transfer W actually. Okay, so basically if I say this is the diagram, then this area represents the heat supplied, so it is positive. This area, because the entropy is reducing in this particular case, this represents heat rejected. Okay, so these are the three cases which I have presented here. uh, so now once again, what I am going to consider here is I am considering a same compression ratio for three cycles. The three cycles are Otto, diesel, and dual. So first of all, I am going to draw the uh, first of all, let me draw the Otto cycle. And as you know, the value of RC or compression ratio is given by V1 by V2. If you have understood the concept of the compression ratio, it's okay, you would be able to understand it. If you don't know about the compression ratio, you won't be able to understand. So compression ratio is the process during which the compression of the fuel air mixture takes place in a closed cylinder actually, but there we are only considering air as the working substance, if you remember it exactly. Okay, so uh, and in case of Otto cycle, if you remember exactly, then I told you there are two reversible adiabatic processes and there are two isothermal processes. Temperature is equal to constant processes. Okay, so first process is reversible adiabatic process, but not to constant temperature, rather it is to constant volume processes. Okay, it's a mistake on my part. So two reversible adiabatic and two constant volume processes. So what I can do is, first of all, I can draw two constant volume lines among which the Otto cycle is to be drawn. Okay, so here the volume is V2, here the volume is V1, and it will be constant here in both the cases. And let me tell you, the value of volume V2 is less than V1. So that is how we represent these uh, two lines on the TS diagram. Okay, now the first process, I am considering that the air which is contained within the cylinder is at the state point 1, and this state point 1 here represents the initial starting point for the compression of the air in the cylinder. Okay, so the first process is reversible adiabatic compression, and it would be a vertical line here. So from 1 to 2, okay, 1 to 2, it is the reversible adiabatic compression, and during this process the entropy remains constant. So S is equal to S1 is equal to S2. There is no change in the entropy. You can see the entropy can be calculated from this particular equation. ds is equal to delta Q by T, and in a reversible adiabatic process the heat transfer is 0, so this value is 0. So will there be any change in ds? Means entropy will change? No, entropy will not change, entropy will remain constant. The second process is heat supplied at constant volume. So what I can do is I can show This is the already a constant volume process, so let me call it as point number 3 for your convenience, but in the previous slide it was shown by some other number. So it is heat supplied at constant volume. Then I am proceeding to the next process. The next process is reversible adiabatic expansion. Okay, up to state point 4. Let me call this as the state point number 4. This is the reversible adiabatic expansion. And once again, there is no heat transfer. So you can see here this value of entropy S3 is equal to S4. So this entropy is also constant. And then the last process is heat rejection at constant volume. So this is once again volume is equal to constant. So I hope this part is clear to you, and I discussed it when I was describing the efficiency, when I was deriving the expression for the efficiency of the Otto cycle. Now this is one of the process. Now I can go to the next cycle. Actually, the second cycle is the diesel cycle. Okay, and when I talk about the diesel cycle, there is only one difference. Here you can see the process 2 to 3 is process 2 to 3 is at constant volume, but in case of diesel cycle, this process is at constant pressure. That's the only basic difference between two cycles. Okay, all other three processes are same. So basically, when I talk about diesel cycle, okay, there are two reversible adiabatic processes. The heat supply is at constant pressure process, and the last process is heat rejection, which takes place at constant volume. So basically, these are the four processes which occur in case of the diesel cycle. So the first process is 1 to 2 only, because we are considering that the compression ratio is same. So 1 to 2 will remain same, but 2 to 3, rather now I will not say the process is 2 to 3. I will change its name. I will say that this is the constant pressure process. Okay, this is the constant pressure process which is taking place in the diesel cycle, and during this process we are supplying the heat. So this is 2 to 3, and let me call this point as point number 5. Okay, this is point number 5. So then 5 to 4. Okay, once again it becomes a little bit arbitrary, because now you should not confuse about the state points actually. So from 5 to 4, it is the reversible adiabatic expansion at constant reversible adiabatic expansion, and during this process the entropy remains constant. So you can see S4 is equal to S3 is equal to S5. Then the last process 4 to 1 is the heat rejection process. This is the heat rejection process QR. So this is common in all the three cases, because the starting point is state point 1. So 4 to 1 is the heat rejection. Is it clear? So I have drawn both the cycles on the same TS diagram. Now I am going to draw the last cycle, which is the dual cycle. So dual cycle is, I will use some other color now. I will take purple color. So once again, in dual cycle, I will tell you what happens in case of dual cycle. There are two reversible adiabatic processes. There is one uh, heat supply at constant volume first of all. The fourth process is heat supply at constant pressure, and the last process is heat rejected at constant volume. So these five processes constitute a dual cycle. And in the meantime, I can hear that somebody wants to join. So wait for a second. Okay, so now I am going to draw the dual cycle. In case of dual cycle, the first process will remain same from 1 to 2. From 1 to 2, it is the same process. And then the second process is at constant volume. So I can go up to any intermediate location, let's say up to point number, this is the point which I have drawn here. So I can say this is point number 6. So this is heat supply in case of dual cycle here, which is at constant volume. Okay, and the next process is heat supply at constant pressure. because in case of dual cycle we are supplying heat both at constant volume and constant pressure. So I will have to change the slope of the curve now. Now this is the constant pressure process from point number 6 to point number 7. This is the cycle actually. Okay, so 6 to 7 is heat supply at constant pressure, so I can write it here. This is the heat supply at constant pressure. And then 7 to 4 means from this particular point to this particular point. This is the reversible adiabatic expansion in case of the dual cycle. And then from 4 to 1, it is the heat rejection at constant volume. So are you clear now? Is it clear to you now?
It is, sir.
Okay. Now once again, I go back to the previous slide. Okay. So you can see it here. I have drawn this diagram. Okay. Now my focus is to calculate these four things, means heat supply, heat rejected, work done, and efficiency. I am going to compare it for all three cycles actually. Now let us go to the next slide here. This is the slide. TS diagram is shown here. So what I have done here, I have extended the point number 1 downwards, and it cuts the x-axis at this particular point, and I am calling this point as A. Okay. Similarly, I have gone down from point number 5 up to point number B, and it cuts the x-axis at this particular point, B and A. Okay. So I have also written here, you can just see this diagram once again. What I have written here is cycle 12651. Which is 12651? This is point number 1, this is point number 2, this is point number 6, this is point number 5, and this is point number 1. This is the Otto cycle. Then you can go for the second cycle. It is 1 2. So 1 2 you already know, and then I am following 2 to 7. So it is the 2751. Okay, this is the diesel cycle. And similarly, you know, dual cycle stands for 1 2 3 4 5 1. Okay, so these are the cycles actually. Now let us look on the top right side where it is written heat rejected. Now this is the heat rejected. Now during which process we are rejecting the heat in case of all these three cycles? It is the process 5 to 1. Process 5 to 1. This is point number 5, this is point number 6. You can see the arrow is from right to left. This is the arrow. Okay, I'm drawing it by yellow color. So this is the arrow, and the area under this curve is heat rejected for all three cycles actually. So this area, all this area, okay, this is heat rejected. I can represent it as QR, and this is heat rejected. So I have written it here. Heat rejected is area under curve 5 to 1. 5 to 1. Okay. So what is this area? If I want to write this area, I can write this area is equal to 1 5 dash B dash A dash 1. So you can see it on this diagram. Which is this area? This area which I have represented in the yellow color, this is the heat rejected area. Okay, and in all three cycles this area is same. So it means heat rejected in all three cycles will be same when I am considering that their compression ratio is same. Okay, so it means heat rejected in all three cycles will be same. Now let us calculate the heat supply in these three cycles slowly. Okay, now first I am calculating it for the diesel cycle, and there is a reason for that. You will understand it slowly. If you see it here, and you remember that it is diesel cycle is 1 2 7 5. Okay, 1 2 7 5 1. So that is the diesel cycle. And during the process 2 to 7, during the process 2 to 7, this process, okay, this is the process. 2 to 7, we are supplying the heat. So what is the area under this curve? 2 to 7. The area under this curve 2 to 7 is, I can, I have written here, red plus yellow areas. So this is the area under the line 2 to 7, red plus yellow areas. So which is the red area? Red area, you can see it here. This is the red area. This one is the red area. And below it, we have the yellow area. So this red plus yellow area is the heat supplied in case of diesel cycle actually. Okay, this is diesel. Heat supplied in diesel cycle. It includes the yellow area also. Okay, don't forget that. Then I can if I say this area, now I know this area. Okay, now let me go for the dual cycle. Now, in case of dual cycle, during which process we are supplying the heat? We are supplying the heat during the process from 2 to 3 and then from 3 to 4. This is the process during which we are supplying the heat in case of dual cycle. So, what is the area under this curve 2 to 3 and 3 to 4? I can say we can go for the green area plus the red area plus the yellow area under this curve. So I can write this area as, it is area A. This is the point number A, then area, and then point number 1, then point number 2, then point number 3, then point number 4, then point number 5, and then going up to point number B here, and then coming back to point number A here. Okay, so this is the whole area which represents the heat supplied in case of dual cycle. Now, can you tell me, if I compare the heat supplied in dual cycle with the respect to heat supplied in diesel cycle, which is more? Can somebody answer me?
Come again, sir.
In which case, I have discussed about the heat supply in diesel cycle and dual cycle. So in which case the heat supplied is more in case of diesel cycle or in case of dual cycle?
In case of dual cycle, sir.
In dual
Dual.
cycle, dual it's more.
Dual cycle.
Dual cycle it's
Dual
more.
cycle.
Okay, now let us talk about the petrol cycle actually. So once again, I am going to calculate the heat supply in this particular case. So in petrol cycle, the heat supply is during the process 2 to 6. This is process number 2, and here it is ending at 3. This is the heat supply in case of Otto cycle. Okay, so what is the total area under this cycle actually? This is actually, now the additional color I have shown here, this is the blue color. Okay, this is the blue part. So this part is the heat supply in case of Otto cycle, which is additional to the area of the dual cycle actually. So what is the heat supply? It is blue area plus green area plus red area plus yellow area, and this can be represented as area A to 1 to 2 to 6 to 5 to B to A. So this encloses the whole area under the line 2 to 6. Okay, and you know, if I say this is the heat supplied in Otto cycle, it is more than the heat supplied in the dual cycle. It is more than the heat supplied in the diesel cycle. Okay, so it's quite evident that the heat supplied in Otto cycle is more than heat supplied in dual cycle, is more than heat supplied in diesel cycle. And I have already told you that heat ejected is same in all three cases. Okay, heat supplied is same in all three cases. So this is the definition of the efficiency of the any cycle actually. So you can see here, this is the 1 minus heat rejected divided by heat supplied. Now just try to imagine this part, the heat rejected part, this part is constant value. Okay, this is constant, and qs. Now just try to go to this equation. If I take Otto cycle, if I put the value of Otto cycle heat transfer here in this expression, I will get the efficiency of the Otto cycle. If I will put it for dual cycle, I will get the efficiency of the dual cycle. And if I put the value of the heat supplied for the diesel cycle, then I will get the efficiency of the diesel cycle. Okay, so this is clear. Now, the value of QS is highest in case of Otto cycle. So if I talk about this expression, this expression, this will be least in case of Otto cycle, because the heat supplied in case of Otto cycle is maximum. So this expression QR divided by QS will be least in case of Otto cycle. So it's 1 minus least will have the maximum efficiency. That is why the efficiency for the Otto cycle will be highest. It will be followed by the dual cycle. It will be followed by the diesel cycle. So it means the efficiency of Otto cycle will be more than the efficiency of the dual cycle, will be more than the efficiency of the diesel cycle. And once this is clear to you, you should also understand that if you will calculate the work, now work will be maximum in the case when for the cycle for which the efficiency is the maximum, or because I know that efficiency is given by W, which is the work which I am getting as the output divided by the heat supplied. Okay, so if I calculate the, if I say the efficiency of the Otto cycle multiplied by the heat supplied of the Otto cycle, that should be equal to W of the Otto cycle. And you know that the efficiency of the Otto cycle is the maximum, and the heat supply of the Otto cycle is also maximum. So it means W for the Otto cycle should also be maximum. So that is why I say W for the Otto cycle is more than W for the work for the dual cycle is greater than the work for the diesel cycle. So is it clear to you? Yes, I know.
Yes, sir.
Uh,
Yes, sir.
yes.
That
Okay,
one,
it's okay.
that one is
You,
logic.
what are you saying?
I said that one is logic, as we know that uh, heat GL heat auto is higher than heat GL, and heat GL is higher than heat diesel. So it's the same.
Yeah. Yes. Because heat supplied is highest in case of Otto cycle. You can also calculate work by using the other equation, which is I'm going to write here. I can, yeah. You know that W can also be written as heat supplied minus heat rejected. And when you calculate, you know this value for Otto cycle is maximum, and this value is constant. So naturally, the work required in case of Otto cycle will be maximum. Work done by available in the Otto cycle will be maximum, followed by the dual cycle, followed by the diesel cycle. Okay. So let us proceed to the third case now. Second case now. What we have to discuss, we are going to discuss about the comparison of Otto, diesel, and dual cycles for the maximum pressure and maximum temperature. Okay, for the same maximum pressure and same maximum temperature. So basically, uh, there is a particular point in each cycle where the pressure is maximum and where the temperature is also maximum. So we are fixing that particular point, and once again we have to calculate all these four values, means heat supplied, heat rejected, efficiency, and the work output of the cycle. And we have to see which cycle will give us the maximum value of the efficiency, or the heat supplied is maximum or minimum. Like that, we have to compare all these three cycles here also. Okay, once again, you should always bear in your mind that the state point one will be same in all cases actually. Okay, so now I'm not going to draw any other diagram, because once I have explained it, so let me start here. You can see this particular TS diagram here, this TS diagram. Okay, now I'm once again drawing two constant volume lines. Which is these two constant volume lines? This is the first constant volume line shown here, and the second constant volume line is this one, this top one, this one. Okay, this one. So this is a constant volume line. So I am considering that between these two constant volume lines, I am first of all going to draw the Otto cycle. Okay, so okay, I will make it for you also. Let me draw it so that you can understand it. So I will first of all draw two constant volume lines here. Okay, they can be drawn like this, and then this is the state point number 1. So 1 to 2 is the constant reversible adiabatic compression. Okay, followed by heat supplied at constant volume. So this is point number 3. Okay, then 3 to 4 it is reversible adiabatic expansion in case of Otto cycle. Then 4 to 1, this is the heat rejected. Okay, 2 to 3 was heat supplied and 4 to 1 is the heat rejected. So now I have drawn the Otto cycle. Okay, so don't worry about the state points, because the diagram which has been already shown here on the left side, they have the different state points. So don't worry about that. Now can you tell me in this diagram at which particular point the pressure and temperature are maximum? Can you tell me? Point number 1 will be fixed always. Point number 1 is fixed for all the cycles. Now my question is, at which particular point there is maximum temperature? First of all, you answer me that.
Point number 3.
Point number 3. Yes, very good. So at point number 3, the temperature is maximum. It's visible here. You can see it from here. Okay. This is point number 3. And if I want to draw the constant pressures, so if I will draw a line which represents the constant pressure and passes through point number 1, then this is the constant pressure line. So this is the lowest pressure. This is pressure P1. If I have to draw a pressure line passing from state point 2, then it will be like this. Okay, this is pressure at point number P2. And if I have to draw the pressure line at point number 3, then it would be like this. Okay, these lines will not intersect, then they will extend. So I have drawn it a little bit in a wrong manner here. So I will rub it. Okay, I will draw it again. So it will go something like this. Okay, this is going like this, this is going like this. So this is point number pressure at point number 3. And if I have to draw the pressure line here, so this is the pressure at point number 4. So P1 is the lowest pressure. Okay, or I can say P3 is the highest pressure, followed by P2, then followed by P4, and then followed by P1. This is, so P3 is greater than P2, which is greater than P4, which is greater than P1. This is the sequence of the pressures. Okay, now once I know the pressure at point number 3 is maximum and the temperature at point number 3 is also maximum, so it means the point number 3 is a sort of fixed point, because I want to compare the 3 cycles for same maximum pressure and same maximum temperature. So point 3 is fixed. Point 1 is already fixed because it is the initial starting point. So the cycle has to go between these points actually. And if you uh, focus a little bit also more, and you know that the last process in all 3 cycles is the heat rejection process at constant volume. So point number 4 also automatically fixes. Point number 4 fixes because point number 3 is fixed and point number 1 is fixed. So point 1, 3 and 4 are fixed. So what point is remaining? It is point number 2, which will be different in all 3 cycles. So now let us discuss about diesel cycle actually. Okay, so for diesel cycle, you know the heat supplied is at constant pressure. Okay, so I will have to start from the point number 2, so sorry, from the point number 1. So let me draw the line here. So I am starting from point number 1 here. So I will go vertically upwards, and I don't know up to which point I have to go. I am drawing it as it is, but I know uh, the uh, process will the after the compression process, the state point, if I say that the diesel cycle is comprising of state point 1 and state point 5, 3, 4, 1, this is what I'm making a diesel cycle actually. So point number 5 is to be located somewhere. So I know that after the point number 5, the process should be heat supplied at constant pressure, and the process should end at point number 3 only. So what I can do, I can come backwards. I can start here, come backwards, and it's a constant pressure process. Okay, so this is point number 5. So that means the point number 5 is located by drawing a constant pressure line, which is pressure P3, and coming backwards. Okay, but the heat, and it will intersect this vertical line at point number 5. So point number 5, so basically from 1 to 5, it is the compression process which is taking place in case of diesel cycle. Okay, is this clear?
It is, sir.
No, no, sir.
It's not clear.
Yes.
Actually, I want to plot the point number 5. How to locate the point number 5? I know from point number 5, we have to start a constant pressure process during which the heat is to be supplied in case of diesel cycle actually, and it has to end at point number 3. And because why it has to end at point number 3? Because the maximum temperature and maximum pressure are same. This condition is already given. We have to compare it for this particular uh, uh, data which is given to us for this particular value. Okay, so my point number 3 is already fixed. So what I can do, I can draw a process which is a constant pressure process starting from point number 3. Okay, so this is a constant pressure line which is passing from point number 3. So naturally, when I start a compression process from 1 and go upwards, it will intersect at this particular point, which is point number 5. And from 5 to 3, I will go for the heat supply in case of the diesel cycle. So this is, you can say, I am supplying heat in case of diesel cycle actually. Okay. I have tried my best. So even if you are not able to understand, you just try to think yourself also. Give some time, because you people are doing this thing for the first time. So it takes some time to understand actually also. And you can listen to the lecture once again, and probably you can clear your doubt. Okay. Now I am going for the third cycle, which is the dual cycle now. Okay, now once again point number 3 is fixed, so I am going to change the color so that it's easy for you. So point number 3 is fixed. Okay, this is fixed. Point number 4 is fixed, and point number 1 is fixed. So these 3 points are fixed. So now you know, in case of dual cycle, the process has to end at point number 3. Okay, and I let me say that now the cycle is 1, point number 6, 7, 3, 4, 1. So basically I have introduced 2 points, and there are 2 processes which I have introduced because 3 processes are already there. So 1 to 6 is the, you can say, constant reversible adiabatic compression. 6 to 7 will be heat supplied at constant volume. 7 to 3 will be heat supplied at constant pressure. 3 to 4 will be reversible adiabatic expansion, and 4 to 1 will be heat rejected at constant volume. So 1 to 6. See, process number 0.6 would be somewhere here. I will tell you why it would be here. It would lie in between actually. Point number 6 will lie here. And then I have to follow a constant volume line. So if I take the constant volume line, this will intersect at this particular point, and this point will be point number 7. And then from 7 to 3, it is a constant pressure process. So you can just try to understand why I have chosen point number 6 to be in between 2 and 5, because it has to follow a constant volume process from 2 to 3, it is the constant volume heat addition, heat supply in case of dual cycle. And then from 7 to 3, it is a constant pressure heat supply, because the heat supply in case of dual cycle is at first at constant volume and then secondly at constant pressure. Okay, and point number 3 is already fixed, so point number 7 has to lie on this line between has to lie on the line 3 to 5. Okay, it can be at any point. I could have drawn, I will show you, I could have gone for, say if I choose this particular color, I could have drawn point number 6 here also, then I would have followed this particular constant volume line. It will terminate here and this will be point number 7. So the position of point number 2, position of point number 6 will be between point number 2, which is here, and position of point number 5. So 6 will lie between 2 and 5, whereas 7 will lie between 3 and 5, anywhere. It depends upon the location of the point number 6 actually. Is it clear? Already it's 3 on my watch. So I hope this part is clear to you. What I can do is I can show you the last slide here. Okay. So what you can try to do is I have explained it in colors actually. I have written the names of the cycles. I have written what is heat rejected. You can see if you once again go for the heat rejected, it is during the process 1 to 5. So what you do, you read this slide while I will be sending you this in PPT. Okay, so you can read this slide, and probably if you are able to understand, that's a good thing. Otherwise, I will make a video of it and then send it to you, or in the next class we can discuss about it. Okay, is it okay for you? You can read this, all this matter here. Okay, so read it. If you are unable to understand, I will explain it.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, okay, just wait a minute.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah, wait a minute, wait a minute. I have to take your attendance. I have taken your attendance. You can